Ladies and gentlemen of America, of the world, and of a moment in history that demands more than silence, it demands reckoning, revelation, and revolution. Today we gather not in the halls of Congress nor in the corridors of the past, but at the precipice of the future. A future shaped not by tradition but by transformation. A future forged not by the left or the right, but by those who dare to reject the linear and embrace the visionary. A future, as boldly declared by one man, named not in whispers but in echoes across every newswire, every boardroom, and every back alley of the political machine, Elon Musk. Yes, Elon Musk, the man who challenged gravity with SpaceX, redefined transport with Tesla, reimagined communication with X, and now, turns his attention to the greatest, most complex, most broken system of all, American politics. He is not a politician. He does not pretend to be. He is not a diplomat or a dealmaker in the DC sense of the word. But he is, unmistakably, a disruptor. And on July 5, 2025, in a moment that could only be described as historic, he unveiled his most politically radical venture yet, the American Party. Let that name ring out. The American Party. Not a red party. Not a blue one. Not a green leaf of idealism nor a yellow flag of libertarian theory. It is a party that dares to claim the very name of the country itself, not out of arrogance but out of outrage. Out of necessity. Out of urgency. Musk is many things, controversial, contradictory, compelling. But in this latest incarnation, he emerges as something more than just a billionaire with opinions. He emerges as a catalyst. As the spearhead of a new ideological insurrection against what he calls the Uniparty, that bipartisan beast of burden that drags America deeper into debt, dysfunction, and disillusionment. His words were not soft. They were not meant to soothe. They were meant to awaken. He accused Democrats and Republicans alike of bankrupting America, not just in the fiscal sense, though he pointed sharply to Donald Trump's big beautiful bill and its avalanche of debt. No, Musk spoke of a moral bankruptcy, a philosophical rot, a decay of vision, and who can truly deny that? We have watched as red and blue traded blame like poker chips while real people lost jobs, lost homes, lost hope. We have watched legislative theater pass as progress. We have seen committees and campaigns, slogans and smears, all while infrastructure crumbles and the middle class evaporates like mist on asphalt. Musk says no more. He brings with him not just capital, but capability. The kind of capability that can launch a car into orbit, that can tunnel beneath cities, that can build neural bridges between mind and machine. And now he asks, why not build a party? Why not build something unshackled by the ghosts of the Civil War, which birthed the modern GOP and Democratic coalition? Why not create a movement that exists not to protect its own incumbents but to empower its own people? But make no mistake, money alone cannot buy a political realignment. Even for the world's richest man, a third party in America is more fortress than frontier. The laws are stacked. The ballot access is nightmarish. The media ecosystem is allergic to the new. And the two dominant parties. They are not going down without a fight. Yet here is Musk, undeterred, unapologetic, uncompromising. He sees what others call impossible and calls it engineering. He has begun by framing the narrative, the Uniparty is the problem. The American Party is the solution. And in that binary, he is forcing a new kind of political calculation. He is also tapping into something deeper than dollars. He is tapping into despair. Into the dissatisfaction that has haunted every American poll for 2 decades, the belief that neither party speaks for us anymore. That both are beholden to donors, to lobbyists, to tradition, to inertia. Musk's announcement was not some abstract theoretical exercise. It was a missile fired directly at the duopoly. A provocation. A dare. He does not pretend this will be easy. But easy is not how he built rockets. It's not how he built cars. And it's not how he plans to build the American Party. He will need candidates. He will need state-level organization. He will need legal teams, volunteers, tech infrastructure, and most importantly, trust. Trust from a nation conditioned to believe that any third option is a spoiler, a joke, a vanity project. Trust from independents, from the politically homeless, from Gen Z and Gen X alike, from those who still vote and those who stopped believing. But Musk is betting that America is more fed up than frozen. That the discontent is deeper than the branding. That the center, long silent, is ready to roar. There are risks, of course. Tremendous ones. Could his party fracture the vote and hand the White House back to Trump or Biden? Could it destabilize rather than reform? Could it burn out in a blaze of hype and headlines? All possibilities. All real. But Musk is not one to wait for perfect odds. He moves fast and breaks things. And this time, the thing he's trying to break is the binary stranglehold on American political life. He knows the gatekeepers will mock him. Already, experts are rolling out the stats. Third parties never win, they say. The system won't allow it, they say. But here's the counterpoint. In every age of collapse, there is also creation. And sometimes the only way to rebuild a machine is to pull it apart first. The American Party may not win a presidency in 2028. But it may win something more dangerous to the establishment: attention, legitimacy, youthful fervor, digital scale. And if Musk can crack even 15% in a national race, he doesn't have to win to matter. He only has to be feared. He only has to be loud. He only has to be just plausible enough. He knows the media won't be kind. They will paint him as erratic, as ego-driven, as unstable. But they forget that narrative only fuels him. They say America can't be run like a company. That politics isn't engineering. That democracy is messy and slow and built on compromise. Musk replies, then maybe it's time to build better. The American Party is not just a political experiment. It is a cultural signal. A declaration that the old language of governance, gridlock, gerrymandering, gotcha games, is no longer sufficient. It is a bet that the tools of innovation, open source models, direct democracy, algorithmic feedback, real-time polling, can be turned inward, toward the machinery of representation itself. It is not moderate. It is not extreme. It is something else entirely: post-ideological, post-conventional, post-permission. Musk's critics will say this is dangerous. That it's populism in a new shell. That it's tech narcissism run amok. And perhaps some of that is true. But so too is this: Musk has shown, time and again, that when the world says, you can't, he hears, you must. He heard it when NASA laughed at his rockets. When Detroit dismissed his electric cars. When regulators scoffed at autonomous driving. And now he hears it from political consultants who say, you can't start a new party. But what if he can? What if the American Party becomes more than a brand? What if it becomes a blueprint? What if it forces the Democrats and Republicans to evolve, or die? What if it gives voice to that quiet majority who want fiscal sanity without cruelty, liberty without chaos, compassion without compromise? What if, for the first time in decades, we no longer had to choose between the lesser of two evils, but something else entirely? That is the question Musk is forcing America to confront. Not left, not right, forward. Not a revolution of red hats or rainbow flags, but of responsibility. Not a cult of personality, but a challenge to the cult of complacency. Not just politics as usual, but politics rebuilt from the motherboard up. This is not the end of the duopoly. But it might be the beginning of its reckoning. And when history looks back on July 5, 2025, it may see not a press release, but a lightning strike. The moment the richest man in the world declared war, not with bombs or ballots alone, but with belief. Belief that even in a system designed to resist change, the impossible is still possible. That is the gamble. That is the dream. That is the American Party.